And this is Mahatma Gandhi. And he, of course, was a plant-based eater. He said, "The good man is the friend of all living things." Deforestation and endangered species. So once their habitat is lost, they are on their way to extinction. According to recent estimates, the world is losing 137 species every day due to deforestation. A horrifying 50,000 species become extinct every year. Jaguars. The Amazon forest has one of the largest blocks of jaguars, which are near threatened. Their habitats have been destroyed due to forestation, leaving them vulnerable for poachers. They have nowhere to hide. The spider monkey, black spider monkey, is an endangered species due to the deforestation in the Amazon. They rely on trees as their habitats, which are being destroyed. These animals do not adapt to new habitats, resulting in their decline as a species. I always think of, some of us are much easier to get to new places, and we're fine putting our roots down wherever we are. And some people stay in the same town they were born, and they're never going to leave, and they don't have any reason to leave. And, you know, imagine if your habitat was gone. The lemur, the silky Sifaka lemur, is a critically threatened species. The lemur is considered one of the rarest animals in the world. Its habitat is the Kirindi forest, and it's endangered due to deforestation. Tigers. The Greater Mekong River forest area is the largest combined tiger habitat in the world. And this endangered species has an estimated population of less than 4,000. I think in future, probably your grandkids will see them only in the zoo, the few that survived poachers and the extinction. So birds, so every fall, millions and millions of birds fly south, and then they come back to their habitat. They come back to breed and to eat and to flourish. So by 2050, 2/3 of all birds in North America will be gone. Similar results globally due to rising temperature and loss of habitat. Horrible. A third, American birds, we already lost a third. We already lost a third. So, and these are pollinator. These are big time. And here comes the most important pollinator in the world, and that's the bees. According to the Royal Geographic Society of London, bees have already entered into extinction due to the massive deforestation and uncontrolled use of pesticides. Agriculture depends 70% on these insect pollinators. So when they go to flowers that's been sprayed with insecticides and pesticides, they don't find their way back to the hive. They get dementia. They actually get dementia. Well, what happens to us? Imagine what happened to us. But without bees, we won't be here. You know, without bees, there'd be no human race, for sure. Government and corporate insanity. Yes, you heard about this, weather modification, geoengineering. So this is when they spray. You see these sprays, and you know it's not cirrus clouds and cumulus clouds, and it's not an airplane that just went by. These look totally different, right? And that's aluminum, that's sulfur, and this is solar radiation management and greenhouse gas removal. Synthetic aerosols have the ability to reduce ozone layers and heighten the risk of exposure to ultraviolet radiation. This increases ocean acidification, additionally causing imbalance for the climate. Politicians are leading us to an edge of a cliff and need to be stopped. So, yeah. So let me tell you, this started in the 1950s, and it was a military madness. They were actually trying to change the weather for other countries like Russia, and even agriculture for other countries. So they began manipulating weather patterns to use against enemies. These outrageous programs have not stopped and have become weapons for economic, social, and political change. HAARP in Alaska is America's electronic epicenter for such sinister Frankenstein-like science. So this, together with deforestation and extinction of species, we wonder. Now, Lyme disease, it's hard to talk about the forest and not talk about Lyme disease because you get bit. And every time you get bit, you wonder, am I going to get Lyme disease? So it started in the 1975. Maybe it was recognized much, maybe it was out there much longer. You know about the Plum Island outside Connecticut. And so there was an unusual outbreak of arthritis near Lyme, Connecticut. And so ticks has a 2-year cycle, okay? And they mate and they lay eggs in the spring. And there's 3 stages. The middle stage is actually the nymph is the one that hits us the worst. And they can't jump or fly, so it's just by walking by the bushes or grasses that they get back on us. And according to CDC, more than 300,000 cases are diagnosed each year, probably much, much more. So then you wonder, how on earth did this happen? Is it a biological warfare? So right now, 2020, the amendment passed by the House would require Pentagon Inspector General to examine whether the Department of Defense experimented with ticks and other insects regarding its use as a biological weapon between the years of 1950 and 1975. So that's the question, and that's called the Smith Amendment, and you can actually support it with your own senator. You can support the Smith Amendment. He's had it up many times, but this time I think it's so many people supporting it, and the more you all support it, it probably will be looked on. You know, a lot of things pass because they're not looked on. And this is the real deal. Of course, either it was intentionally sending out these biological warfare ticks and other insects, or it happened by mistake. So carbon dioxide is a deadly gas, yes. At some point, climate change will start to make further increase in photosynthesis. Remember, the sun is everything. Impossible due to increasing heat stress. The more carbon dioxide, the more warming. Scientists predict that on our current path, we are going to raise temperatures by 6 degrees, melting both ice caps and allowing the water to rise to the Statue of Liberty's elbow. It takes 7 meters. 7 meters. If both ice caps melt, it will raise the water level 7 meters, which is up to the elbow. So we're already raising it between it's some places it's 2 feet, it's between 0.1 and 2 feet. So some places, islands are disappearing. Islands many are just disappearing. People have to move. There will be definitely move in future. You know, if you're living on the ocean, a lot of people will have to move inland. That's the only way once it starts raising. Because unless we start really rebuilding what we've turned down, our lives and our health.